Time for Raider Football Highlights with Raider head coach Theo Caldwell. Brought to you by Hardy Chevrolet of Cornelia and by 123 Wholesale Tire. Now here with interviews, commentary, game analysis, and a preview of next week's game, the radio voice of Raider football, David Foster.
Welcome to Raider Football Highlights. David Foster with head coach Theo Caldwell of the Habersham Central Raiders. Coach, tough ball game last Friday night against the Parkview Panthers. I think it was a ball game that the team felt they were ready, you felt they were ready, and it was just one night that nothing went right for Habersham Central, at least offensively.
Well, you're right, David, and we did feel like we could beat them. We really did. You never know that, I guess, till you get in the ball game. I thought we were prepared. I thought our players were ready to play, but we went out and they blocked better. They caught the ball better. They threw it better. They out-coached us. I mean, it was just one of those games where we just didn't do anything right and really, just really got beat.
Coach, even though that ball game happened that way, it was a week where we had a good week of practice, and, that was something that you probably never expected to happen.
No, and I think part of that is that they've been there before. They are experienced in playoff competition. They had their back to the wall. They had to win, and they knew that, and they've turned it up a level. And, they have not played that well all year. That's the best ball game they've played. We had 4 videos on them, the 4 previous games, and they haven't come close to that intensity level. And I tell you, one of the things I think helped them was taking Jeremy Myers and moving him from quarterback to wide receiver. It allowed them to open their offense up a little bit, and they caught us off balance with that, and he made a couple of big catches for touchdowns. And, those kind of things you just don't know are going to happen until they do. And we didn't do a real good job of adjusting to what they did. Now, they didn't do anything on defense that we weren't prepared for, but we just had a bad night offensively, and they were a little bit more physical than we were.
You said about a bad night offensively, but I think a good night defensively for our team. Even though we gave up 24 points, we played practically the entire ball game on their end of the field.
The field position was definitely in Parkview's favor, and our defense was in there with their back to the goal all night long, and they played hard and played very well at times. We gave up some big plays on defense, but overall I thought we played pretty well. Offense didn't help them at all. It was just a tough night.
Okay, Coach, let's go ahead and take a look at the highlights in the ball game. Let's first start with the kickoff. Chris Taylor going to kick off the game for us here, and we decided to go with the orange uniforms.
Well, it was senior night, and we let the seniors choose which uniforms they wanted to wear, and they chose to wear the orange, so we came out in orange for the first time this year. Start off here on the 25-yard line, and Parkview runs a sweep. They've got good people running the football, and we do a good job of getting out on the ball and tackled by a host of Raiders, including Matt Riles.
Matt Riles had a fine season this year for the Raiders.
He's had an outstanding year.
Again, they're going to try to sweep it around that left side, and there's Matt Burrell and Jake Porter over there to knock him out of bounds. They do pick up a first down, but this is one of those kind of drives where our defense bent, but they never broke, and they didn't give up any points.
They've done that all year long. They've done a great job of keeping people out of the end zone, and the yardage doesn't matter. It's, the score is determined by the points you score, and we did a good job of keeping them out of the end zone.
Had a couple of fine running backs, Chapman and Donaldson, and here is Chapman running the ball.
He had 184 yards rushing the week before against Burkmar, and our guys did a great job with him and held him down way below his average.
Now they're going to go back to their wing back here. And Matt Huff going to make the tackle here out of bounds. They pick up some yardage, but, they're moving the ball. But, again, we're going to find that Habersham's defense is going to hold them here in the next couple of plays. Donaldson's going to run the ball here for them. And good tackle there by Matt Burrow getting through the hole.
Yeah, we had a little stun on there, and Matt blitzed through the C-gap, made a tackle for a loss. Did a great job.
Jermaine Shamir, we're going to get a look at him here. He had another good ball game as well.
Jermaine comes off, and tackle picks him up, and he plays off the block, and sacks the quarterback, does a great job on containment, not allowing the quarterback to get out on the waggle.
Also, Josh Armour was there for Habersham Central.
Josh played a good game. We've moved him around and did several different positions, and he stepped up and did a super job the other night.
Matt Holcomb here on the coverage on this long pass.
Excellent coverage by Matt. Matt knocks the ball away and forces him into a punting situation.
Of course, there's 8:11 to go here in the first quarter. Parkview forced a punt on their first drive of the ball game. For Habersham Central, we're going to see Brian Sosby and Joel Dodd, along with Josh Armour, get down there and make the tackle here. Or actually, that was a play before. I got a little mixed up there. But
yeah, that kicker.
Yeah.
Kicker kicked it out of bounds inside the 5-yard line, and we come out here, and Brian Black throws to Jake Honeycutt on a little out cut, and Jake makes a good catch and turns upfield and gets out of bounds with it.
But we weren't able to get anything going, and Habersham had to punt it away. Hal had a good night playing the ball.
Well, he had a lot of opportunities, and he did a good job. And here he kicks the ball out, and their tight end defensive back does a little bit of everything right here, who is a great kick returner, takes the ball, and we do a good job of tackling him.
Yeah, and that was a tackle where Armour and Sosby and Dodd had the tackle, so I was a little bit ahead of myself there a second ago. But here, Habersham Central makes a good defensive stand when Parkview got close. Armour and Riles made the tackle there for Habersham Central. They started at the 9-yard line, and Jake Porter's going to force them back inside and make a good play from his defensive back position.
Here they run the quick toss and try to get out there and run around the corner behind their tight end, Wade. Wade is he's an all-region player for them, and they tried to run behind him all night, and our guys just did a great job of containing the football there.
Looks like Armour's going to shoot the gap here again and make a good tackle.
They get an unbalanced line and then try to run the belly play over there, and Josh Armour comes through and trips him up and makes an outstanding play here.
And again, Armour's going to be in on the play again. He had a good night defensively.
Well, he's a very intense young man, and he's quick as a cat, and he's just all over the place. And we have a good goal line stand here, and Josh hits him in the backfield and holds him up and keeps him out of the end zone.
All right. That's the end of the first quarter. We're scoreless between Habersham Central and Parkview. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
123 Wholesale Tire remembers when the tire you rode on was far less important. Back then, you didn't worry about tread depth, handling, or traction. Today, 123 Wholesale Tire has a dependable high-mileage Kelly tire that is right for you, like the Aquatour at this great price. Now, 123 Wholesale Tire can't take you back in time, but with Kelly tires, you'll get where you want to go and back again. 123 Wholesale Tire and Kelly, a great deal on a great tire.
It's hard to beat a Hardy deal on a new Chevy car or truck because Hardy Chevrolet won't be beaten on price, selection, or quality service before or after the sale. Come see us today at Hardy Chevrolet. We're north of high prices and located on Level Grove Road in Cornelia. You expect more from Hardy Chevrolet, and you get it. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 8, Saturday till 6, but we're closed on Sunday. Remember, we always treat you right at Hardy Chevrolet.
Welcome back to the second quarter here on Raider Football Highlights. Coach, Habersham Central started out the second quarter. Parkview got the ball back, and they got a long touchdown of 35 yards to the fine wide receiver that was a quarterback, Jeremy Myers, and it was good coverage by Habersham Central's Austin York.
Yeah, Austin was back there, had good position. The ball was thrown up, and Myers just went up and made a great catch. Great players make great plays. The coverage was there, and 99% of the time Austin would have knocked the ball away, and they just made the catch on us.
All right, and then in the second quarter also they had a 57-yard run by Isaac Abraham, and that was just one of those big plays that you referred to earlier, and that put them up 14-0. So.
Yeah, defensively again was solid all night. The big plays hurt us on defense, but when your defense is put in a position where they have to stay on the field that long, you're going to give up some big plays.
Okay, Coach, let's go back to the film here and look at Habersham Central. Here we're down 14-0, and we make a couple of good plays here. Brian Black going to go back through the air to Hal Higgins. That combination's worked good all year for Habersham Central.
Well, we throw a little quick screen to Hal, and Hal gets the ball upfield for positive yards, and we come back here and we get in a balanced formation with them. We were trying to get their secondary to fall into a coverage and stay in it. They did an outstanding job of disguising their coverages, and here we come out and we sprint to the left and throw the out route again to Hal Higgins, and Hal makes a catch, and we come up with a 3rd and 3 situation.
And here we're going to go to a little trickery, and it worked well for Habersham Central with Higgins on like a little split in or wing-back reverse here.
Well, we send Hal in motion, and we sprint to him and give it to him back on the reverse, and Hal hits Michael DeSerio on a crossing route, and Mike makes a catch for the first down and gets the ball out to the 40-yard line, and we feel like we're trying to get into a little rhythm here and do some things, and then they stop us, and we have to go back on defense. Nicky Huff comes here and makes an outstanding play. on the option, and he plays off his block and tackles a quarterback for a loss.
I believe we're going to come back with Tremere making another fine play.
Yeah, we hit him at the line of scrimmage, and he breaks some tackles, and Jermaine runs him down from a pursuit angle and stops him after he gets the first down.
Quarterback here going to try to keep the ball again. Stick it up in there behind his right guard and right tackle. Whole host of Raiders got him on that play. They're going to go back to Donaldson here. And they were also without one of their big running backs as well in this ball game.
Now, I think that caused them to change some things, and it really, in my opinion, it helped them. They probably need to stay with what they're doing because they were a lot harder to defend with the formations and the people that they had in there.
That was a good tackle by Huff and Porter. Now they're going to try a long field goal of about 30-plus yards. They're going to miss it a little bit wide to the right. Almost a good block there by
Jake Porter.
Yeah.
Jake puts pressure on the kicker all night. I thought Jake was going to block a couple in there. He really went off the corner hard and gave us a great effort.
All right, that's the end of the second quarter of play. Habersham Central down 14-0. Let's take another break. We'll be right back.
It's hard to beat a Hardy deal on a new Chevy car or truck because Hardy Chevrolet won't be beaten on price, selection, or quality service before or after the sale. Come see us today at Hardy Chevrolet. We're north of high prices and located on Level Grove Road in Cornelia. You expect more from Hardy Chevrolet, and you get it. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 8, Saturday till 6, but we're closed on Sunday. Remember, we always treat you right at Hardy Chevrolet.
You can do a lot to make your car a high-performance car. But 123 Wholesale Tire wants to remind you that if you don't have high-performance tires, it changes everything. So come to 123 Wholesale Tire for the right tire, like the Kelly Charger SR, starting at just $44.95. With Kelly tires from 123 Wholesale Tire, you'll notice a big difference, and so will everyone else.
Hey, nice tires.
123 Wholesale Tire, Cornelia and Gainesville.
Welcome back to Raider football highlights. Coach, Habersham Central's down 14-0 at the half. Our defense has played well. They played the entire first half on the other end of the field, and you got to feel good, or the team had to feel pretty good after they missed that field goal, only down 14-0.
Well, I tell you, David, when you're down to Parkview 14-0, it's like being down to another team 24-0. They're a ball control offense with a big line of scrimmage. They run power football. They try to dictate the clock and keep the time of possession in their favor. And when they get up 14 points, it's hard to come back on them because they're going to keep the ball away from you. When we came out at halftime, I thought maybe we would have in the second half maybe 4 possessions. We had to score on 2 of those and to get back in the ball game, and it just didn't work out.
What kind of adjustments did you try to make at halftime?
Well, we didn't make a lot of adjustments because they hadn't done anything that we weren't prepared for. We went over our play calling and the checks that we were trying to make at the line of scrimmage and trying to get them into some situations where we could dictate what we wanted to do on offense. They were really dictating to us. They were changing their defense up. And they were going to a 38 defense where they were rushing 3 and dropping 8. Then they jump in a 4-man front, and we just never could get in sync and get a grip on what we were doing. Okay,
Coach. Let's go ahead and pick up the video here and take a look at the touchdown by Parkview here. To make it 21-0 here in just a few minutes. But again, on this drive, Parkview got lucky several times, got away from some big sacks by the Raider tacklers, and just got lucky on this drive, actually.
Yeah, Matt Riles was in on that tackle, and Matt played well all night. And here Parkview goes back. Joel Dodd has the sack, and he pulls away from him and scrambles around and gets plus yardage and takes it out where they come up with a 3rd and short situation.
Let's pick it up a little bit later now in the drive. Big hit here by Matt Burrell.
Matt did a good job. Same stunt that we saw a little earlier in the first quarter where he came through on a blitz and hits him for a loss.
And here we almost have the quarterback again, Coach. Huff almost got him there, and then Dodd. Then they make just another great catch there hanging on the end.
Well, he's a great player. There's no question. He's got 2 older brothers, one at Georgia Tech and one at Wake Forest, and he's bound to play in Division I as well, and he just makes a great catch. And here we see Jake Porter coming off a corner again and almost blocking the extra point.
All right. At this point, with 4:29 to go in the ballgame, Habersham's down 21-0. Let's go ahead and pick up next drive for Habersham Central. Higgins was forced to punt. Let's take a look at some more defense. But again, Higgins having to punt from his own end zone, deep in his own end zone, got away a good kick. And Parkview just going to let the ball roll dead, and we'll pick it back up on Habersham with them out there on defense as well. We'll take a look here at Armour and Owensby getting through for Habersham Central.
And they run the sweep, and Josh Armour makes the tackle after Michael Owensby turns him back inside with penetration.
Going to have some more pressure here by the defensive front.
Well, we're kind of pinning our ears back and just coming after them now. We're down, and we need to make something happen. And we pressure the quarterback, good pressure on him, and he has to throw the ball away.
Parkview going to call a timeout and talk about things. You come back and try to go through the air, and they're going to throw an incomplete pass again. Good coverage by the Raiders secondary.
Well, we're in a 38 defense here, and we got three-man rush, and we get a little pressure on the quarterback, force him to throw the ball low, and we've got excellent coverage. Matt Burrell's back there, and Chris Taylor. We had several people around the football.
Parkview forced to punt the ball away. Michael DeSerio going to fair catch it here.
Yeah, made a little mistake here. We fair caught it on the 6-yard line, and you know our rule is we don't field the ball inside the 10-yard line, but that's kind of the way the night went.
Well, yeah, I think we had made the comment on the radio. Well, you know, when you're inside the 10, you always let it try to go in the end zone. But the way our luck had been going, it probably would have rolled dead at the 1.
It would have stopped on the 1.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the end of the third quarter. Let's take another break, and we'll be right back.
You know, Kelly makes a safari tire for just about every light truck driver on the road. Pour off.
And the place to get them is 123 Wholesale Tire. Whether you're running rivers or errands, whether you think trucks are for hauling or hauling, stop by 123 Wholesale Tire and get the Safari HPR for only $81.95 per tire.
You'll never believe it, but they even make safari tire for people who think this is a great fishing hole.
It's hard to beat a Hardy deal on a new Chevy car or truck because Hardy Chevrolet won't be beaten on price, selection, or quality service before or after the sale. Come see us today at Hardy Chevrolet. We're north of high prices and located on Level Grove Road in Cornelia. You expect more from Hardy Chevrolet, and you get it. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 8, Saturday till 6, but we're closed on Sunday. Remember, we always treat you right at Hardy Chevrolet.
Welcome back to Raider Football Highlights. Fourth quarter, Habersham down 21-0. Coach, let's get right back to the video here. And, of course, we're going to go back and take a look at Habersham Central on defense. Again, we've talked about it all through the ball game, but just a fine defensive performance by Habersham Central Raiders. Good tackle here by Tremere again.
Yeah, Jermaine comes off the corner and makes a hit and stops him short. We did. We just swarmed to the football. We had people around the ball. We didn't give up. We fought on defense extremely hard. Here we run another blitz, and they're trying to run the trap up inside, and Matt Burrell plays off the block and makes the tackle.
Parkview having a little confusion back here.
You know, they had some problems there at the end of the ball game. They got called for procedure 3 or 4 times.
I believe they were trying to make Habersham jump off sides and couldn't do it, and then had to call a timeout. Then we'll go back with Tremere and Dodd here making the play again for Habersham Central. Tremere on your right side, showing blitz.
Yeah, they run the fullback draw, and Jermaine comes off and makes a good play and tackles him at the line of scrimmage.
Of course, they are forced now to kick a long field goal. They've already missed one here in the ball game. This one's going to be about a 37-yarder.
They had great kickers. I tell you, it's the first time I've seen a team that had 2 kickers that could kick off in the end zone. They alternated their kickers on the kickoff, and both of them kicked it in the end zone.
Yeah, you're right. That's something that you usually don't see a lot. So let's go ahead and finish up here, taking a look at some of the video. Some of the last plays for Habersham Central offensively and defensively in the ball game. At this point, we're down 24-0 in the fourth quarter. And we're going to go back through the air, going to hit Daniel Stafford. Daniel's had a great year this year, probably one of your most improved players offensively.
Absolutely. Brian Black makes a good throw, and Daniel catches the ball and takes a big hit from Jeremy Myers and gets us a first down. But we have to punt it away, and Parkview's back on offense again. And our defense just has to strap it on and go back out there again. And there we have Matt Burrell with the initial hit, and Austin York finishing him off and running to the football.
Back offensively now after our defense held them.
We hit Hal Higgins on a little quick screen outside, and Hal gets the ball upfield.
Go back defensively now, looking at Parkview. Good tackle there by Huff.
Huff comes through along with Michael Lee McDuffie on the tackle. Here we have an all-out blitz. Got a lot of people going the ball. Matt Riles and Josh Armour making the tackle.
All right, Coach. Again, not a lot of good highlights in there offensively, but if I know our guys are going to bounce back for this next ball game against South Gwinnett.
Well, we certainly expect that. The last 2 weeks we haven't played particularly well on offense. We've kind of hit a wall, and we haven't improved very much. And the other night was not much fun for anybody. We were all frustrated, and we need to come back this week and have a good week and finish the season on a positive note.
Coach, South Gwinnett struggled this year, but you've told me, and I know you've told your players, that they're a good football team. Even though their record might not show it at this point, they're a fine football team. And remember, just a couple of years ago, they were in the state finals.
Well, if you run down their schedule, David, all of their games they've lost by close scores. They had Central Gwinnett beat, and Central came from behind to beat them in the fourth quarter. And they've just played everybody close, and they just have not been able to get in the win column. And I think we're in a dangerous situation going down there and playing an 0-9 team that, that has players, that's got tradition, that has been good in the past, and I think our players are going to have the work cut out for them.
Tell us a little bit more about South Gwinnett. What kind of team do they have as far as speed, size?
They run the wing T. They run it as well as anybody in the state. I think that offensively they've scored a lot of points. They scored 26 points against Parkview in their game with them. So they're going to run the misdirection, and our defense has struggled this year with the wing T. Traditionally, I guess this year, we have not played well against the wing T, so our defense is going to be challenged. They've got a young sophomore running back that's an outstanding player with great speed, and a left-handed quarterback that can throw the football, and a couple of good receivers. So, I think the strength of their football team is their offense. Defensively, they're young. They've played pretty well, but they've given up a lot of points. So hopefully we can go down there and correct our woes on offense and have a good night.
Coach, we really need to correct our woes, because at this point we don't control our own destiny, but mathematically we're still alive in the playoff hunt.
Mathematically, we've still got a chance. Only thing that we can do is beat South Gwinnett and then cross our fingers and hope that something else good's going to happen, and that good would have to be Central Gwinnett upsetting Parkview. And
obviously, we've played Central Gwinnett this year. We beat them, but they've got a good football team.
They actually, I think, have one of the better offensive teams in the region.
All right, Coach. Well, as we said a little earlier, we hope our Raiders can bounce back, get a good win over South Gwinnett, and just really not worry about whatever everybody else is doing. Just go down there and take care of ourselves, pick up a W. And I tell you what, a 7-3 sounds awfully good compared to a 6-4.
Well, if we can finish 7-3, David, our 3 losses would be to 3 state-ranked teams. Parkview is ranked currently 5th in the state. Clark Central was ranked 4th in the state. Of course, Stevens County, I think, currently is ranked 6th or 7th in the state. So the teams that we've lost to are very high-caliber teams. We would like to have gotten in the win column against one of them, but it didn't work out. We'll take the 7-3 and build on it, and hopefully we can go out this week and finish up on that kind of a record.
Okay. Coach, again, tough luck last Friday night against Parkview, but better luck this Friday night against South Gwinnett. Let's pull the Raiders through and come home 7-3.
Thank you, David.
All right. That's been our Raider football highlights here on Teleview Cable Channel 4. Let's remind everyone that this Friday night, the Habersham Central Raiders will be on the road again to take on the South Gwinnett Comets. That ball game will be down in Snellville, and you, of course, can hear the ball game right here on WCON 99.3, and that ball game will be Friday night. And remember, it's a 7:30 kickoff. And then next Tuesday and Thursday, myself along with Coach Caldwell, we'll be back with the Raider football highlights. So be sure and tune back in to Teleview and Cable Channel 4 for that. For Coach Caldwell, I'm David Foster. Good night.
123 Wholesale Tire remembers when the tire you rode on was far less important. Back then, you didn't worry about tread depth, handling, or traction. Today, 123 Wholesale Tire has a dependable high-mileage Kelly tire that is right for you, like the Aquatour at this great price. Now, 123 Wholesale Tire can't take you back in time, but with Kelly tires, you'll get where you want to go and back again. 123 Wholesale Tire and Kelly, a great deal on a great tire.
It's hard to beat a Hardy deal on a new Chevy car or truck because Hardy Chevrolet won't be beaten on price, selection, or quality service before or after the sale. Come see us today at Hardy Chevrolet. We're north of high prices and located on Level Grove Road in Cornelia. You expect more from Hardy Chevrolet, and you get it. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 8, Saturday till 6, but we're closed on Sunday. Remember, we always treat you right at Hardy Chevrolet.
That puts a wrap on another edition of Raider Football Highlights with Raider head coach Theo Caldwell and the radio voice of the Raider football, David Foster. Join us after every Raider football game for Raider Football Highlights, brought to you by Hardy Chevrolet of Cornelia and by 123 Wholesale Tire.